Hello, and welcome to a light informative lesson on psychogenic movement disorders, or PMDs for short. Today, you'll learn about what PMDs are, what causes them, and how they have persisted into our modern society. Chapter 1, PMDs and Evolution. What are PMDs? PMD stands for Psychogenic Movement Disorder, also known as Functional Movement Disorder. PMDs are explained by Baylor College of Medicine as being characterized by unwanted movements, such as spasms, shaking or jerks involving any part of the face, neck, trunk, or limbs. In addition, some patients may have bizarre gait or difficulties with their balance that are caused by underlying stress or some psychological condition. What is evolution? Evolution by natural selection is the idea that organisms that are more suited for their environment will survive to pass down their genes and those that aren't will not. If PMDs are detrimental, why haven't they been weeded out by evolution? A favorite theory is that PMDs have persisted because some brain function that causes them also causes some other beneficial effects, which outweigh the potential drawbacks of a movement disorder that cannot happen without said function. Chapter 2, the limbic inhibition theory. The most convincing theory is presently based on active inhibition of motor areas by limbic brain areas. The limbic brain areas are related to emotion, memory, movement, and stress response, which explains why PMDs are aggravated by mental distress. This is known as the limbic inhibition theory. This is a schematic synopsis of the limbic inhibition theory. Striatothalamo-cortical loops link various areas in the frontal cortex to the caudate nucleus, putamen and pallidum, thalamus, and then back to the cortex. This circuitry allows modulation of motor commands initiated in the cortex during movement execution. Within this circuitry, particularly the striatum, is a relay station where neural signals can be modulated by effective inputs from limbic areas, such as orbitofrontal cortex, cingulate cortex, or amygdala, causing a dissociation between obvious motor capacities and awareness of motor action. The arrows indicate changes in neural activation within each area as detected by neuroimaging studies performed in PP. Arrows pointing upward indicate an increase in neural activation. Arrows pointing downward indicate a reduction in neural activation. It is evident that different neuroimaging studies detected either increases or decreases in neural activation in premotor and prefrontal areas. Chapter 3, the evolutionary reason. Now that it is established that PMDs occur when communication between the limbic and motor areas is disrupted by stress, we must return to the question of why. Returning to the idea of motor control and the limbic system, the basal ganglia, a piece in the limbic system, is directly responsible for motor control in humans. Normally, there are instructions encoded in the basal ganglia for habitual movements necessary for survival. Jared Reiser theorizes that tic disorders may represent evolved phenotypes with a lower threshold for basal ganglia-directed actions. This may have produced a susceptibility to extraneous tics, but also produce fast-acting tactical solutions to immediate physical problems. During periods of non-stop movement, continual foraging, and sustained vigilance, it may have been advantageous to allow some cortical motor commands to intrude into ongoing motor activities. Chapter 5, Benefits of PMDs. There was a 60.1% increase in diagnosis of PMDs between the period of March 1 through October 30, 2019, and the same period in 2020. For many with PMDs, their movements are a coping mechanism, which may help to explain the increase during the COVID-19 pandemic. While the exact mechanism remains unclear, some researchers propose that the urge to tic might signal the need for a behavioral change, prompting the individual to address the underlying stressor. Distress-caused movements can also serve as a form of group signaling. Humans instinctually want to help others in need, and these troubling movements can elicit support from other members of the group. This increase in involuntary communication can strengthen group bonds and dynamics. To conclude, PMDs represent a complex interplay between neurological functioning, evolutionary history, and social dynamics. They are caused by miscommunication between parts of the limbic system, specifically the basal ganglia. The evolutionary purpose for PMDs is to increase response time and tactical decisions, but a side effect is unwanted movements. PMDs can also serve as a coping mechanism and involuntary group signal. Further research into the adaptive significance of PMDs promises to deepen our understanding of these disorders and inform more effective approaches to diagnosis and treatment. Thank you for watching and listening. If you found this lesson interesting or useful, Please continue to do your own research on PMDs. This concludes the lesson.